Alright, so here is another video of my 89 Jeep Cherokee. This is a renix 4.0 liter, and it's been driving great. It's been doing great. I've put a lot of money and time into it recently, and it's kind of been paying off with how well it's been driving. So the whole goal was to eventually let my wife drive it, because she only drives a couple miles every day at most, taking my son to and from school, maybe the odd grocery shopping trip here or there. And so figured now that it's summer coming on, maybe a good chance for her to drive it, and so that we won't be using putting the miles on it and wearing it out quite as quickly. I'd be driving the Infinity again. So she decided to drive it today, and after a good week and a half of really solid driving, she came out, and of course it had a crank no start problem. So fortunately, she just called my son off. He's in preschool, so he just goes and plays at school for a few hours, and I came home from work a little early so that I could work on it. And the thing that was really frustrating is, earlier this year I did have I had a crank no start, but only when the engine was hot and not all the time. So I replaced the crankshaft position sensor. That's a classic crankshaft position sensor issue, and that seemed to have resolved the issue. In fact, I will say resolved the issue, because I haven't had the issue until obviously today. And so first thing I did was I checked the fuel pressure there, 40 psi as expected. And then I have a tool that I got from Harbor Freight that goes here, and I should have grabbed it. I apologize, I didn't. That's just a little light bulb that connects between the ignition coil and the distributor cap, and it lights up as the spark goes across. And it lit up. It is a bit dim, dimmer than I would expect, but I figured it was an ignition coil issue, and so I went around and unplugged all my connections, all my sensors, and plugged them back in. Throttle position sensor, the crankshaft position sensor I unplugged and plugged back in. I unplugged the wires and plugged them back in for the ignition coil, and still nothing. So I was doing some research online, and it did look like it was more than likely the ignition coil that was bad, but I didn't find really good instructions on how to test the ignition coil. So I wanted to take just a few moments to show. Well, what I did is I took out the ignition coil, took it to AutoZone, and compared the new ignition coil to the old one. Now, I've already installed the new one, so I'm not going to do that here for you. I'll just show you how I tested it and the results that I got, so that you could possibly do this on your own without having to go to the shop to test it, or to the part store. So I have a multimeter here. Turn it on. I have it set to whatever that is. It's on auto. And then take the probes, and when you test, and also down here at the bottom, sorry, trying to get camera to focus. There we go. There's a little negative here and a little plus there. I don't know if you can see that with the quality on YouTube, but they're negative there, positive there, so I know which ones I'm trying to touch. And I should be getting on my multimeter 0.5 as a minimum. So, and it's kind of what it was doing is it was just bouncing around all over the place when I was trying to test. Now at the store, I did get 0.5 after it bounced around for quite a while, and I still have it, just sitting there. And there we go. So, and this, it's just bouncing around. It's not real sticking. So I tested the new one, same way, put them on like that, and I got 0.5 perfectly. It didn't bounce around, didn't move. Now, the next test that you do is you test from here to here. And Let's see what result I get. Now I should be getting a minimum of 6.0. And I'm getting 4.6, 4.7. Now at the store, it was bouncing around like crazy, just like the other test was. Now it's holding pretty steady. But with the new one, I got a 7.6 reading in K ohms. I believe that's kilo ohms, something like that. I think that's ohms. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm not very savvy on using my voltmeter. One reason why I went to the part store so that they could tell me what I should be getting. And once I did that, it started and ran and is running great now once I replaced it. So the reading is what you're looking for. I do have an analog multimeter and it's not very useful. I definitely recommend a digital one. So that's my results. If you like my videos, like what I post, feel free to support me. I have an Amazon partner link in my description below. Use that link when you purchase anything on Amazon, and all of your proceeds from that will come back to support this channel without changing your buying experience at all, and I appreciate the help, and thank you for watching.